Well, in the past, we had the Chinese investment, especially when it comes to the first part of the road of the highway for Montenegro. We had investment coming from the China, and now for the second part of the highway, we at this moment are having an open call by the EBRD procedures and the EBRD EU laws, actually. So we have the open call for everyone to apply on that open call, especially. The most important are our EU partners as well. So what we are doing at this moment, we are wanting to have the best campaign for the investors, not only for the EU, but also for the other countries as well. So the Montenegro is a friendly zone for the investments. But from the other side, we are having this geopolitically and geostrategically very important. Our main goal is to become the next member of the EU. So everything that we are doing is very transparent. It is connected with the public procurements of not only from the Montenegrin procedures and laws, but the EU as well. And our alignment with the EU procedures is 100% aligned, especially when we are speaking about the public procurement, having in mind that we already internally fulfilled all the closing benchmarks for this chapter, and let's hope that in June, most probably, we are going to have intergovernmental conference so we can officially close that chapter. That is how this important phase is for us, to be 100% aligned with the EU from one hand, and from the other hand also to be very open for the investments, because we are a very small economy and small market, and we really need investments from all the countries that are going to do by our rules, by our standards, and if some other companies and countries, not only for the EU, are going to work by the EU laws, and the EU is agreed with that, because there are some of the things that we need to communicate with the European Commission, especially in this final phase, and not only the European Commission, but the member states as well, because we are acting already like a member state, to be very honest. And this is something that is maybe at this phase is much harder for us, but this is also something that where we are showing that we are a credible partner, and that if we are having some investments that are not from the EU, that doesn't mean that it's going to jeopardize our EU path at any level or any topic. Looking forward to have EU investments and EU investors, because I really see that Montenegro is a worthy country, having in mind our geographically where we stand in the heart of the Balkans, and also with the great exit on the Adriatic Sea. I see that there is also the good connection, having in mind that also good example for the maybe becoming IT hub for the EU, or to invest not only in the tourism but agriculture or energy sector tomorrow. But there is really a plenty of the areas where we can see the investments that can be good for the EU companies and the member states as well.
So, if I understand you well, you don't see any threat from the investments from China, because one could say that economic dependency might be equal to political dependency in the future.
Based on the lessons that we learned from the past, I don't see any threat at this moment, and I'm certain that we have the Prime Minister who is coming from the economy sector, and he's very business oriented. So in this way, I'm certain that all the steps when it comes to the economic growth of the country, we don't have to worry about it.
One of the key requirements for the European integration is good neighborly relations with all the neighboring countries. So, does Montenegro has any problems with one of its neighbors?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a problem. I would say some disputes that are coming from the past, and well, first of all, I would say that we need good relations not only with our neighbors, but with all the EU member states, and also the neighboring countries that are not in the EU as well. And I would start from that. In that manner, we are going that way. We are going to resolve all the disputes that are coming with any country. At this moment, I will speak very open and very, very honest. There are some of the disputes when it comes to the Croatia that we are resolving at this moment. I'm at this moment very optimistic when it comes to this conversation. They are happening on the level of the state secretaries from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Are they manageable?
Yes, they are manageable. Some of them are, how to say, manageable in short period of time. For some of them, we need longer period of time because we need some commissions, we need some of analytics, and we need also some duration because you cannot, for some topics, you cannot end them in a couple of months. But I think that if we saw them, if we are seeing them as disputes that are going to be good for the both countries, I think that at this moment it's very important for us to have an open and frankly conversation between the two countries before the 2027, when all the countries are going to vote or not to vote for Montenegro to enter the EU in 2028. I think that we are working that on time, so in 2027 we can resolve most of those topics, and then all 27 can give the positive feedback for the Montenegro as well.